My name is Michael Stütz. I'm the head of the section, and I'm very happy to see a full house here at Blumex Theatre for the world premiere of Paul. Paul is a beautiful, beautiful, empathetic portrait of self-exploration, of overcoming internal and external boundaries, and how we communicate with the world and ourselves. The director is very, very well known. He's been many times in Berlin in competition in Forum, from Bestia to Wig and Flow to Ghost Town Anthology, and this time it's the first time he's showing a film in Panorama, and I'm very, very honored that he's here. So please give a very warm applause to Denis Côté.
I was about to just say a boring, have a nice screening, but it's my first time in Panorama, so I'm gonna try to be more original. Thank you for inviting the film. Let's talk more after the screening. It's my 8th time with the film here. I'm still excited, but it's the very first time for Paul. Paul is here, he's gonna join me after the screening. He's not an actor, he's nervous. But let's try to do this correctly after the screening. And what else, Michael?
I think we're good to go.
Okay, we're good to go.
Enjoy the screening.
Please welcome on stage again the director Denis Côté. Denis, join me here. And we have also the protagonist of the film here, Paul.
Wait. Paul is way too famous to come now. I just would like to welcome my little team on stage, because that film was made for about 1,000 euros. So there's not a big team, but still, my 2 wonderful producers, they gave $500 each. Hany, Ouichou, and Karine, Bélanger. And then we have the 2 wonderful, we had 2 directors of photography, and they didn't give any money, but they gave time and talent. François, Messier-Rheault, and Vincent, Biron. We have one participant in the film with us, not an actress, but Godess Jess is here. And I'm sorry, Paul, you're now officially famous. Paul.
I want to say we also have microphones in the room. You need to give clear hand signs so that we can find you. I would like to start. I'm a member of the advisory selection committee of Panorama. We saw this film in the selection phase. We really, really liked it, but we were wondering, how did the two of you meet?
He's cleaning at my place.
No. He says he's not cleaning for men.
I know.
So.
I know that. Well, it's just I knew someone. He was cleaning for her, of course, and she told me like 2-3 times about this guy called Paul, and I asked questions, and I thought it was an original, let's say, lifestyle. And in 2017, I made a film called A Skin So Soft about bodybuilders. And I thought the way I was looking at the bodybuilders at the time, with a non-judgmental way or respectful way, I felt that I could do the same experience with Paul. Again, very non-judgmental, and just, even if it's a reality I don't know much about, just being there, observational documentary. And then if you saw some of my films, you know there are little twists sometimes that are more fictitious. It's hidden in the film here and there, obviously the ending or stuff like that. So I thought of doing like I did in 2017, but with this person. And till the end, I tried to not get inside Paul's head, but just to show you the 7 months we met. And up to this date, Paul somehow is still a sort of enigma for me, because it's not a film that I made over 10 years with a beginning, a middle, and an end. I think you're doing a journey. It's not over. So I was there for a short period of time, and that's it. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a historian. I just met Paul on a 7-month period, and that's the film.
And thank you very much for allowing Denis to film you. Paul, how is it? I mean, you normally film yourself. Now somebody else comes and films you filming yourself. How did that work out?
It made me really nervous. I wasn't sure I wanted to do it at the beginning. I think I said no at the beginning. But I felt it was an opportunity for me to get out of my comfort zone even more, and just a good, rare opportunity in general, so I'm very grateful for it.
Again, reminding you, if you have questions, we have colleagues with microphones who will come to you. You just need to give clear hand signs to them, because it's a very big hall. We also want to involve, of course, everybody and try and answer your questions if you have.
Don't be shy. I know you have questions. You have tons of them.
You said just now that the final scene was fictional, because that's also the only scene where Paul doesn't have his own camera phone on him. I just thought, like, how can they spend so much time in the mountain without filming anything?
He was.
Okay,
Well,
so
it's just that when you make a film like that, there are more like episodes. Like we see Paul with this dom, this dom, this dom. At some point, as a filmmaker, you're like, what is my structure? There's no beginning, middle, end. And I had just this little idea that there's no way I can finish the film with a message or whatever. So I thought, okay, Paul is in a journey. He's going somewhere positive. So my image of that was Paul climbing towards something, a liberation, or a, like he says, saving his life. So I thought this image of him going up a mountain and just sitting there without any message, he's just going on. And now we are 7-8 months later, and you still have the same life, more or less. So the journey goes on. So that was fiction.
okay. There's a question in the middle there.
Hey, thanks for the film, first of all. Thank you, Paul, for inviting us into your life, basically. I have no contact with anything whatsoever, basically, in this, what was shown in this movie, which was really interesting for me. My question now, that you stand in front, of course, of a huge hall here. During the film, you mentioned that you have like anxiety when it comes to growing numbers of online followings. And I think that such a movie probably only increases that even more, and even probably in a more drastic fashion. So how do you feel about that?
How do I feel about that? I don't know. Right now, it just feels so surreal, I guess. When I started my Instagram post, it was because I was just scared of being seen by people. I was always just hiding and running away from conversations, and so it helped me, but I never imagined I'd be here now, so it just feels surreal. I guess I'll know how I feel in a little while.
Okay, thank you.
On Instagram in a few days.
There's a question here.
I have another question to Paul, and thank you very much for your courage to stand here in front of all of us. And I would like to know what role does the camera play for you? Does it make you feel more real? Is it more a mirror or a dialogue partner or whatever?
The role my own camera plays for me, I guess it was a way to express myself, but I was really I was really shy about everything about myself, and having a camera at all times I could just express myself, but like exactly how I wanted to, and so I guess that's the role. I'm not sure.
There's a question here in the middle, and then there is one up on the side.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, the connection I felt to you, just because it is like, I feel like a lot of us feel disconnected and feel like we want to improve ourselves, and to see you go on that journey and to take such action towards that, like, thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and kind of going off what everyone's kind of been talking about with the camera. And I wanted to ask the cinematographers, you guys, and this is probably a collaborative effort between all of you, the way that you respected the story, the space, and I felt it was just so beautiful, the way that it unfolded. How did you approach that? It's such an intimate thing and vulnerable. What was your approach to that?
I think discretion was the key word, and honesty. Also, Denis is very interesting in that regard. That like he's very open with Paul, like toward the whole process. So I think when we're shooting, we're just trying to be as discreet as possible, but also not to spy on people, like not to pretend that we're not there. Like, so it's like that weird zone where you have to exist and like be there and like accept that the subject will know of your presence, but also be respectful of their boundaries. But it was and also we chose a very tiny camera that like didn't feel intrusive too much, because if you come there with like your big equipment, so I think like that's why we chose like a ridiculous old like black magic camera that like wasn't an obvious choice for technical quality, but like felt very inintrusive in this context.
Thank you.
I had a question. I'm over here. Sorry. I had a question about the music. I understand that you had a really small budget, but the music that you used to like represent a person's life, like how do you actually first did you write the music? Is it original or did it come from somewhere else?
If you've seen some of my films, I don't use music much. I don't like music in films. I think your film should talk for itself. The rhythm should be musical instead of using music. But when I approach this subject, like right now hearing the audience react to this film and the clapping, it's my 16th feature film. It never happened to me before. My films are much more, tougher on the audience usually. So hearing you clap and this and that made me remember that when I approached this project, I said, there's no way I'm gonna make a film about this guy if it's not to protect him. I don't want you to say it's a cute film. I don't want you to say it's a gentle film, because it would confront me a lot based on my career. Or if you say it, I'm gonna do something with the next one for sure. But I'm going to your question. So I thought, okay, this film should be less Denis Côté and more Paul. And if we're about to make this film, it's about him. There's no other title possible than Paul. And here and there, I would like to put just little music, just extremely. So I don't think the film is buttered with music, but we have these 4 parts with just little music, whatever. So, but I like the music, and it's not. It's a real person who created the music for us. It's not a real person. I mean, we asked that person to perform that piano parts and those piano parts.
Yeah, I really like the music, for the record. I think it was very
All right.
intelligent.
So you come to see a sort of BDSM film and we talk piano here, right? I like you.
I'm into the technical aspect.
Okay, there's another question over on the other side. Yes.
Yes. So first I want to say it's connected to what you were just talking about. I feel that this is almost a co-direction between you and Paul, and I really liked how you touched a heavy subject like depression with so much lightness and a fine sense of humor that I felt was coming from Paul. And I wanted to ask how the collaboration really was between the two of you, of kind of writing the film or during the editing.
Was it a collaboration? Well, it was. I'm gonna say it. It was the toughest film I made on all my 16 films, because it's very hard to meet a person like that who doesn't talk much to men. Remember that. And asking Paul, can I go into your life? And I will not start the project until you give me the contacts of at least 6 or 7 of your doms. So I need to meet these women. I need to go in the apartments and see the lighting, the space. We shot this film with a crew of only 2 people. I was doing the sound. And it's quite primitive, the sound is not that sophisticated, so it's only a team of 2, but still, I need permission from Paul and meet these women. And it was long, it was hard, because Paul, I wouldn't say you were not trusting me, but he didn't see the whole point of making this film, but at the same time, he wanted the attention and the followers, and you even use the word, I want to be famous someday. I needed something, he needed something. You get it? So the collaboration is 2 guys who want something from each other, but he's not a huge fan of talking to big, tall, tattooed guys like me. So I think what I'm saying now is the very first Q&A, but Paul, his safe spaces are his phone and the women surrounding him. I don't know how many guys you have in your life. So we had to make this film. Vincent and François. Okay, so more guys. But we found it's on a period of 7 months, so sometimes I would, not that many days, but 7 months. So it's emails after emails after emails of trying to get information from Paul. Where should we go next? What's the address of this woman? How should we organize? Should we shoot on April 29th? Are you free? So it was a lot of preparation, and he was the only one who could give me the information. So it was how do we say au compte goutte? Yeah, drop by drop information from my information bank here. So it was slow, And I think you were suspicious until you saw the final product. And then we both felt like, oh. He was happy with the result. I was happy that he liked the result. And yeah, how was our collaboration, Paul?
And the sense of humor, I think, is yours, right? So it's the moments that you laugh or the moments that you make fun of yourself in your videos. That's kind of, I think you're controlling the humor, and that's what I find important.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. How did you feel about the collaboration?
How did I feel? It was good. It was a relief. At first, I didn't want to do it at all. Then I met Denis, we talked. Then I agreed to do it, but even then I kind of didn't want to do it. But he was very respectful throughout the whole thing. But yeah, as he said, it's only when I saw the final product that I saw that he didn't paint me like, I don't know, that I was really relieved at it. So I was happy at the end.
Yeah, I know you repeated 2 or 3 times. Please make sure I don't look like this poor guy being beat up by women. That's what you asked me a few times. Of course, I told him it's part of your life. I need to keep that, but don't worry, we're gonna, you know. And I think the first time he saw the film was the offline version, not this final version. Today was your first time seeing the final version. But he saw the offline, which is the rough looking, sounding version. I think I remember it was the first time you looked me in the eyes and say, "Thank you, Denis. This is my life." And that was 8 months after we met. So the whole time I knew I was probably not the good person to make that film about him. But we made it. I'm sorry I'm not a woman.
There's always room to improve, as they say in Some Like It Hot. We have one final question. I know it's like we're already only just getting started, but it's a film festival that has lots more films coming up, so there is...
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Paul, like, how did you come up with the idea to clean at houses of dominant women? I'm here. Because it's such a niche, so you have to come up with it at some point and get the idea. So where did this come from?
I had depression for like 10 years where I just disconnected completely and didn't talk to anyone. And then when I came out of my depression, the first thing I felt was overwhelming loneliness, and I didn't know how to talk to anyone, especially women. And so at first I went like on Tinder and stuff. I made normal profiles, zero match. I was just a fish in an ocean. And so I thought, okay, I need to find a really crazy way to just meet women. So I made a new Tinder profile with a sign saying domestic servant. And I got so many matches. Like, I was cleaning 2 times a day, 7 times a week for different women. At first I was terrified, shaking like crazy, ringing the doorbell, but then I went through all the experiences and it really helped me.
This film together and everybody who collaborated. I know we're only just getting started talking about it, but unfortunately we have to get the next screening started very soon. So I would like to remind everybody of the Panorama Audience Award. You applauded, so please vote. Upstairs, you need to get out of the cinema upstairs, and there's also cards and the voting ballot box. And thank you so much, Paul. Thank you, Denis. Thanks to